and welcome back to the Good News. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Doc.
And we are excited and delighted. We have been excited and delighted since we came back.
It's been a minute.
I know. So we are excited and delighted to have you join us here at the Good News for another week.
What a week it's been.
Yes, it has.
What a week it still is.
You know, I think what's interesting for me is, okay, so there's, I consider myself to be one who handles change very well, but this change I'm still, on the treadmill so I'm trying to figure out a routine. And I know a lot of people that are not used to spending as much time as they have been with their children that are home and answering questions about homework that they haven't done in 10, 15 years. So I know it's just been a lot of change. So coming from someone who has the extreme fortune to be semi-retired, tell us how you get in a rhythm. How do you adapt?
Well, one of the first things I had to come to grip with was no timetable.
Yes.
I didn't have a time that I had to be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I started making my own time.
Yeah.
So since I know how traffic here is here in Atlanta, I decided that I didn't want to ever be in rush hour traffic if I didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I make it a point. I don't leave before 10 o'clock a.m. and I have to be back in by 2 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that that's an old person's schedule or anything, but that's a person's schedule who was frustrated with traffic.
Well, so that problem has been solved for us because we can't leave the house.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about when we're actually exiting the house. It's the what do you do with the 24 hours in your home that seemed like it was going to be such a great idea and it was going to be such a relief. But what I found is that I did so much work on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Thursday, I was like, okay, phew.
Well, see, that's something else too. You have to learn how to pace.
Yes.
And one thing I've learned too was how to just slow down. I didn't realize how slow I could do things and be so successful with it. Because I used to always have a time frame. I had to have this report done by this time. I had to have that done by this. I have to do this by that. And now there's no hurry for me to do anything. Even when I'm grading my students' paper, it's like I have almost a whole week to grade papers. I only have probably about 15 students in the class, and I'm doing everything online. So I can do it early in the morning. I can do it in the middle of the day, even late at night. So it's like I don't have a time frame where I have to do anything. Yeah. One thing I try to do is there are certain mandatories I try to make sure I have done by a certain time. Like if I'm gonna clean up the house, I want to make sure the house is cleaned up by a certain time. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm done with everything before you get home. So
yeah. So those of us that are new to working from home and are still trying to wind down from the anxiety and everything of a commute. Okay, so there's no commute. So your mornings are a little slower, or if you work in however your schedule is, there's not as much rush. And so how do you stay motivated to do what it is that you would typically do? Apparently I space out at work a lot because
like the office.
Yeah, I get in, I space out for about so it's just really different.
I think what's interesting also is people, especially like the family, get to find out how we work for the most part. And I think what's interesting is, it's like, okay, now that I've seen you do a whole week of work at home and you get to see me a whole week at home, we could probably both say, that joker don't do nothing. But it's a process, like you said, we have. There are certain things that we do. I was taught a long time ago, when you start getting to certain levels of maybe management, certain type of careers, you're being paid for your thoughts. Yeah. And a lot of what I've done was being paid for my thoughts, especially now being a pastor, being a
professor.
Online professor, and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So a lot of time I'm thinking about what I need to be doing, and there's no time schedule for thinking, and there's no hour wage for thinking. So,
being in technology, there is a whole lot of waiting while something is rebooting or restart. Whoever writes the operating system that does an automatic restart and restarts instantly, and I don't have to wait for the upgraded 1%, 2%.
Yeah.
I mean, because that is a lot of the time of the work that I'm doing right now, because I have the opportunity to go and do some upgrades and some things that typically would have been pushed off to the summer or may not have been done at all. I'm able to go and do that, but it is still a whole lot of click and wait. And so I find myself trying to fill up that time that I'm waiting. So I'll start on another computer, forget which one I would. And so it's just really been a challenge to regulate my time in my day, because I'll just get up and start working from the time I start. I'm at a computer or some kind of device most of the time. So I'll just keep working, and that's not a good plan either.
Yeah, but I'm going to share a secret.
Tell us the secret.
Everybody right now who's working from home because of the coronavirus pandemic, make sure, hear me clearly, make sure that whoever supervises, manage, lead, or direct you feel like and recognize that you have so much work and it's so important, and you are getting it done at such a rate that they can even imagine having you back in the office again, because really nobody have to be in the office anymore. I worked for a government agency, and I won't name the agency that I worked for, but they used to have a problem with people working from home, because they felt like they had to have eyeballs on you, watching you, and I used to get pissed off at them, because I said, if you were smart enough, if the agency was smart enough, they have our computers set up where it monitors everything we do anyway, so you wouldn't have to watch us. But anyway, for those who are working at home, make sure that you're occupying the most make sure you're maximizing your time so much, so when this thing boils over, you won't have to go back into the office. You can work from home from now on.
I think it's really about information, because I've learned as a manager or as a subordinate that when you don't have information, then you kind of make up your own. So if I'm not telling my manager or my director what it is that I'm doing, then she just makes up her own story. Well, every time I see her, she's looking at her phone. But no, I've got 3 computers here that I'm updating and getting ready, so that when something happens, I have computers that are ready to easily swap out and those kind of things. So if I don't tell her that, then she doesn't know what I'm doing. It just looks like I'm doing nothing. And so I think information is key. And I really hope that all your teams, everybody that's working from home, that you're connecting in and communicating daily, and even if it's a video call or just to hear another person's voice, that you know that you are still connected as a team.
So I'm going to give you an example of something I learned from a job I had once. There was this word called DAW. Daily activity work list, a daily activity work, and what it did, it showed what you did throughout the day, every day, and it was like a checklist. You know, you check off certain things. So what I learned to do, and what I would ever say, what I recommend for people to do, get your job description out. Get your job description out and make sure you divide it into a day's work. So for whatever hours you're working, for the first hours, I'm answering emails and returning phone calls. For the second hour, third, fourth hour, make sure you're going off your job description list.
And see, that works for people that have that type of job. My job...
Well, I was government, so...
my job solely wraps around someone calling me in need. So when you do support and you do that type of work, I can't tell you what I'm going to do today until someone calls and there's something that I have to do. And then the other things, they don't sound like work to people that aren't in technology.
So how I would work that, I would say I'm prepping for an emergency call from somebody from the district, something like that. So I even let them know I'm prepping for the call, and during my preparation, these are some of the things that I know they might have problems with, and these are some of the things I'm not expecting them to have problems with, but just in case they are, this is what I do for it. So
okay. So on another note, so we have covered those who are just working from home, but there are some who are working and helping students from home. And I remember when my grandparent tried to help me with homework. And then, so there's one way that the teacher taught me, and they like, oh, well, back in the day, we did it like this. You got to carry
that
the
new
one.
math. Y'all do that new math.
And so I can just imagine the frustration both from the student and from the parent when you're trying to get help with homework or trying to get a parent to understand your homework or how your program is set up. So you send home a packet stapled of 35 pages for my student to do. Sit there until you do it. No, this is for the whole 2 weeks. So, you know, it's just like what we were talking about with bosses that want to see you at work and have to know that you're doing work. And so that's just the way, and primarily boomers, that's the way that they operated. And people were at their workstation. I knew you were doing your work because you were on time and you stayed late or you left when you were supposed to leave. And so we have those same dichotomies of people that are learning online or learning with a learning packet, and parents are like, oh, that's not how we did it when I was in school.
I have a perfect solution.
Okay, give it to us.
So, if the teachers are sending home assignment for students to do, either online or manually, however they have to do it, the teacher got prepared. They have a lesson plan, they have the steps they're looking for, and the answers. Why not give that to the parent? You know, you don't have to say, the teachers, it's not like they know it. They have the information in front of them. Like you said, information.
Yes.
So why not share that same information with the parents so the parents can say, no, Janet, that's not the right step. And you don't have to give them the answer, but lead them the way the teacher would lead them.
Yeah.
You know, I have this thing, if I knew back then what I know now, if I knew back then what I know now, when my kids were in school, you know what I would do?
What's that?
I would have ordered the teacher's edition to their book.
I knew that was
coming. Yeah. It's not like teachers are that smart. You know, they're smart. I know they learned and they got this, what they call this.
They are trained in pedagogy. They know how to encourage you and how to get you to learn. They don't necessarily have to be experts on the topic.
I teach at a university, so I know that.
And get you to know how to learn.
I'm a university professor, so I know all about that. So what I'm saying is, from my perspective, you know, it's like, and from the perspective of a parent, if the parent had what the teacher had and they co-taught, it would be so much easier for the student to learn.
Okay, that sounds so easy, but I'm also doing my job from home.
So if you're doing your job from home, you have to find out another time to do your teaching job of your kid.
Yeah.
So if you work normally from 8 to 4, you have to be doing homeschooling from 5 to 9:30 at night.
And so then, see there, you've never been a mom. You've just been a parent. That's
but
different.
I was an active parent. I was president of the PTA. I was at school all the time. I even taught at the school for 4 years when my kids went through middle school.
When you are a mom, your student is coming every 2 hours. Mom, what we gonna eat? Mom, what we gonna do? Mom, I'm bored.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
And so it really is a change for our whole nation, really. And so just know that here at The Good News, we are praying for you because we know that this is a challenge. It's new for all of us. So don't expect to be perfect at it, and don't expect your student to be perfect at it. We are all just trying to do the best we can do until we get back to normal or we get to our new normal.
Can I go on record and say something?
Please do.
I don't think there's a parent in America right now that wouldn't agree that teachers deserve a substantial raise.
Yes. I mean, because the work that they do is so critical to our students' lives, and I mean they understand how to get that motivation out of you when there's peer pressure that's telling you, oh, you don't want to be the smartest kid anyway, or there's peer pressure saying you're not the smartest kid, you need to be smarter, and they know how to navigate all of that.
And let me be even clearer about that. Not necessarily teachers, all of those who are involved in the learning process of the kids. I'm talking about the cafeteria staff people who are out working right now making sure kids are being fed. I'm talking about the janitorial staff who make sure the school is safe, the heat is on in the wintertime, the AC is burning when it's hot, there's no problems on the floor, you know, trash is picked up, the floors are clean, this building is clean. Those who lead the teachers, those people who work in assistance, like the administrators and administrative staff.
It's a team. And when you think about it, it's like the Swiss clock where all the little notches have to hit together in order for it to make it run. And so I just hope that parents aren't pressured and stressed, because I know people are concerned about their jobs and how long the work from home and the shelter in place orders and things like that are going to last. So don't let that be one of your pressures.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to be a perfect teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We expect for you to do your best and to love your family and hold them close while we have this time to be together and hold each other close, because we don't know what the other side is going to look like.
And what to make parents realize, what I hope is, you can't do your teacher's job.
That's
you
it.
know, a lot of
That's
times parents like to think, I can do what a teacher doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Unless you have that education degree and you know, took all those courses those teachers have taken and those educators and all those who assist in the process taking. You cannot do it. So appreciate them, because they ain't going to try to come in your job and give out those levies and go and five-face somebody's account and all those things that some people I know do.
Yes, amen. So before we close out for the week, tell me what your preparation has been like for sermons during this time. You don't want for COVID to be your only message, and you don't want to ignore it like it doesn't exist, because it's happening and it's reality in people's lives. So how has your sermon preparation changed during this time?
First, I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about a professor from the Interdenominational Theological Center, better known as ITC, Dr. Carolyn Knight. She used to have a phrase that said, "This is a great time to be a preacher."
It is.
And it really is. You know, and not that, you know, preachers look forward to bad times and hard times and nothing like that, but it makes preparing a word from God so much clearer to hear when, you know, people are going through experiences like this. They're suffering, they're not going to work, they don't know how long they're going to be able to stay in their houses or stay away from work, being around the kids, being around spouses, cabin fever and all these other things. So not necessarily that preachers and those who deliver words from God have to talk about the coronavirus, but talk about those other things that go into play, like this is a time to tap into that hope that you like to talk about. This is a time to tap into that faith you like to tell people you have. That's the time to exercise that muscle.
That's it.
This is a time to be able to trust God at His word. This is a time to see that God loves us and cares about us even in the midst of a pandemic. So my preparation right now, I'm going to say it's been easy. I don't have to sit down and just ask God, what can I talk about? God has given me plenty to talk about. My thing is, God, do I say that this Sunday or do I wait till next Sunday? Do I give it all on this Sunday, or do I do part 1 and part 2 and part 3? But one of the challenges have been, though, has been to be able to do it online. Not that I have a problem with online, because I love online, but what I miss is the interaction of the people who I normally would see face to face on Sunday morning. That has been a challenge, and my prayer is that God will bring us back together very soon, so we might be able to hug one another, love on one another, and care for one another, because the word is coming forth, but it's that interaction that I'm missing.
Well, I want to thank you for all of your commitment and your preparation. It is really always amazing to watch the time and the prayer that you put in to developing messages for us at Champions for Christ. And we just thank you for your leadership, and thank you for always encouraging us. And that's what we want to be able to do here at The Good News. We always want to encourage you with good news. And we hope that we have encouraged you this week, that you're not stressed about what you can and can't do, but that you just slow down and listen to God, read God's word, and get closer to Him during this time.
So if you like the good news, if you like receiving motivating and inspiring and informing news that will brighten up your week, why don't you follow myself and Tisa at...
Did you just forget my name?
I was going to say your name first.
Oh.
And so...
I'm at Tisa J is for Joy on Instagram and Facebook.
And I'm at Dr. Darrell L. Jones. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and follow this YouTube channel. We're on the YouTube channel. We're The Good News. And if you're enjoying it, and if you enjoy receiving good news, tell a friend. Share, like and subscribe, all those things.
Thank you so much for joining us here at The Good News. We hope that you have a great day and a good night.